Hello, everyone, and welcome to part 3 of this 3-part series discussing tenant brokerage. In this part, we're going to talk about tenant brokerage and tenant agency, the minimum standards. In other words, what you can expect a good tenant broker to help you with. And this will explain a lot of the reasons why you may want to consider having someone help you out. My name's Rob Cassam. I'm the owner and broker in charge of Carolina Realty Advisors. I've been doing tenant brokerage for many, many years. And for this part of the series, let's start out and ask a basic question. Would you let a foot surgeon perform a brain operation on you? Well, obviously, you know, it's a good kind of a little fun thing to think about in this fashion, because both people may be great surgeons, but each has a different specialty. And obviously, you wouldn't want someone who specializes in a foot surgery rather to be operating on your brain. So I recommend that you pick the professional who's got the experience in working in that particular area. Any good broker, in my opinion, that's working with a tenant should be experts in all 3 legs of the real estate brokerage business model, which is marketing, sales, and operations. And to get a little bit more detailed into that, let's talk a little bit more about tenant brokerage operations and some of the services that a good tenant broker can provide for you. The first one's going to be tenant transaction management, meaning the due diligence in the transaction. Once a property's found, you need to make sure that you can that it's what you thought it would be, verifying zoning for your particular business, storage requirements, those types of things. The second point here is a lease review, which is extremely important, and that's giving comments, preparing comments for a real estate attorney to review for terms and conditions that may need to be changed or attempt to be changed to benefit the tenant versus the landlord. And closing coordination, this occurs a lot of times when there's upfit to be done, meaning improvements to the property, new paint, carpet, new construction, walls moved, fixtures installed, those types of things. There's going to need to be some coordination that your broker can help you with in that area as well. Stepping back to looking at various different alternatives when leasing commercial property, there's the lease analysis phase of this, and that's when you would decide whether one lease is better than another by using a structured lease versus lease analysis. You may want to look at your net present value of the total lease obligation and compare it to other different properties to see what the best financial alternative would be for you. And you would also want to look at your total cost of occupancy, not only the rent, but the other things that would be required to run the property for your business. A market analysis makes sense oftentimes by looking at the spaces that are available in the market, what kind of absorption the submarket is seeing. That'll help you determine what kind of an offer you might want to put together coming out of the gate in your offering strategy. You'd certainly want to look at rent comps, and you'd want to look at the rental trends in the market to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting yourself into, and you know when it is that you may want to walk away from that particular negotiation, go into another one. And then, of course, the business planning side of it, a real estate broker can help you develop your business plan. If you're opening multiple locations in a town or in a state, they can help you with that. They might be able to help you with your portfolio or determine your overall occupancy costs amongst multiple locations. And then they might be able to help you secure credit or funding from banks or otherwise to help you with some things that might be required for tenant improvements is probably the best example that I can think of right now. And so the next few slides are just some examples of market conditions, and you need to make sure that you look at things like average lease prices, absorption rates, and the average ratios that occur in different markets. And these are things that need to be explored with your broker against the properties that you're looking at. You may want to look at important trends in lease rates, or properties that have been sold, if that's an indicator of value for the lease itself, which sometimes it can be if it's a standalone building. I think your broker should help you with the target lease price on the property, and try to determine, where the offer that's on the table stands against what other things have been leased for in the market, so that you can make sure that you're comfortable in getting as good a deal as you possibly can. I think real estate leasing does take patience and wisdom. This is kind of a funny slide here. You always wonder what's going to happen with the dog, if he actually waited there or not. But amongst anything else that I could tell you, I would tell you to get expert advice before you get into leasing commercial property, even if you've done it before, because different markets and different types of properties have different dynamics to them, and that brokers should know about and should be able to help you with. The tenant brokerage services that I provide, there's several of them, but the top three that I'll highlight here is my 89-point buyer / tenant representation plan, and that's a list of services that we provide tenants in helping them find and lease commercial space. I've got an easy exit tenant brokerage agreement. I know no one likes to be tied to someone that may not work out for them. I've got a mechanism with what I do to make sure that doesn't happen, and to make it a little bit more risk-free to work with us. And then the final thing is I've got 2 guaranteed savings programs. We've done this for a long time, and we've tracked our results, and we are confident enough to offer guaranteed savings plans depending upon the type of property that you're looking at. In the size of property, we can predict the type of savings that you ought to be able to see, and if we can't achieve that for you, then we'll actually reach into our pocket and compensate you back. With that being said, these 3 points are kind of the tip of the iceberg, but they're the main ones that I use to make sure that folks that we work with are satisfied and they're happy about what their business is about to do on a commercial lease. The next steps, if you'd like to contact me to talk more about this, I'd obviously welcome that. I like working with serious folks who are ready, willing, and able to take action. You can look at my website at charlottencproperty.com, or you can call me at my office at 704-442-1774. I am at extension 100, and I would like to thank you for taking the time to review this information with me and learn a little bit more about leasing commercial space in the North and South Carolina market, and I look forward to talking with you in the future. Have a great day. Thanks very much.